Hey everyone, Nat Daddy here with another review. Today we're going to look at the Web of Spider-Man Volume 1 of the Omnibus, one of my favorite books of all time. Very nostalgic about this series. The third solo Spider-Man series, they ended up stopping Marvel Team Up at 150 and then started this new series. Iconic cover there, of course. One of my favorite covers of all time, the Charles Weiss cover. Managed to have a 9.8 in the regular one, and I have a 9.6 in the newsstand. Always trying to get a 9.8 in the newsstand, and the Canadian price variant one as well. Super hard book because of the black and everything, but one of the best covers of all time. Along with this cover here from Mike Zeck during the Death of Kraven saga, that's in here. We have issues 1 through 34 and a couple annuals as well. What's really nice too is that they have a few extra books in here that go with the current story that's going on there. So here we have The Amazing Spider-Man, the issue that coincides with the Web of Spider-Man when Beyonder turned that building to gold. And then also, of course, we got the Spectacular Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Mans that go in with the Kraven saga there, and also the Mad Dog War at the end. So, all right, let's jump into this. Like I said, I do have the Mike Zeck cover here. There was the regular cover, but I have that for the Spidey Black Suit saga. So, I got this Christmas when I was a kid. The first 7 issues were bundled up as a Christmas gift for my parents, and that's how I first started collecting comics. So this does have a lot of nostalgia for me, and like I said, I am a big fan of all the stuff in here. An important time in Spidey's life, the suit was found out to be a symbol or a symbiote, a parasite, and he left it at the Fantastic Four headquarters. It has escaped, and now is at the end of the Spider-Man issue. This has hidden in his closet and now has kind of surprise attacked him, and now is trying to take over him again. So we see the introduction of a kind of a B-team ripoff of the Vulture. And as Spidey's trying to get over to the Baxter building to help them deal with this, his suit here, he has to encounter and fight this new Vulture team. So lots of good fun there. I enjoyed it. Ends up that Vulture team, the Vulturions, where one of them was cellmates with the original Vulture and got his design and stole it from there. So Parker luck going on. Peter has got his aunt a nice hat for, I believe it's Mother's Day, her birthday, one of the two, and he's trying to get over there and they're attacking him and that. So MJ, of course, at this time knows that Peter is Spider-Man. So that was the first couple issues there. Of course, at the end of that first issue of Web of Spider-Man 1 is when Peter destroys, or he thinks destroys, the symbiote in the church tower there, but we find out a little while later that that's when it bonds with Eddie Brock and becomes Venom. So big moment there. And there's a Doc Ock story in here. This one's a neat one here. Doc Ock is kind of catatonic every time Spidey goes around, so he always has a robot that he's practicing on, and one day he finds out the robot is not a robot and it's actually Spidey, so that's a fun story. And this is again the gold issue where the Beyonder has turned the skyscraper in New York into pure gold and it collapses, so Spidey's dealing with that. And this quite possibly could be the first connecting cover, because that Web issue is connected to the Amazing Spider-Man issue. Kind of exact opposites in that, so we'll show you here in the second half. So yeah, I would suggest if you are a Spider-Man fan, especially of the black suit area, and definitely probably one of the greatest storylines Spider-Man wise ever, I think, is the Death of Kraven stuff. So great 80s artwork here. This is issue 7 with the Hulk, where Nightmare has trapped Peter in the dream world and is asking for his help to take on the Hulk. So that's a good one as well. This is the episode where Peter Parker goes to a small town to investigate a local superhero called the Thunderbolt for the Daily Bugle, and to find out he was an old man that once had powers from a meteorite, and over the years has lost all those powers and now does it with the help of a suit. Issue with the Shocker. I really enjoyed this artwork back then. Like I said, Mike Sykes, a great artist, amongst others in here. And yeah, all that black suit stuff going on, and just a great time in Spidey storytelling history. Especially late 80s and 90s stuff. This is one issue, this is one of the annuals where Warlock comes to town. And again, just such great artwork with that black Spidey suit. And there's Warlock and New Mutants coming at him. And then lots of great Hobgoblin stuff too. And Spidey goes missing in this after the mountain collapses on him. And this here, debatable, is the first cameo appearance of Carnage in that thing. He shows up in one of the panels in that. So great 90s artwork there again. Of course, classic story where he always seems to be a doppelganger of Spidey, framing him for stuff. And I can't believe it, back then was Marvel's 25th anniversary as well. Man, does that make me feel old. Trying to get you guys to the Kraven stuff here. If you haven't bought any of the Spidey stuff, black suit wise so far, you've been holding off, I would think this is definitely the collection to get. Just for the Kraven stuff alone and for the Mad Dog Ward afterwards. So yeah, one of the best creepy stories ever, where Kraven kills Spider-Man and drugs him and hides him in the grave for a few weeks and then takes over his life. And that's a great annual there, number 3, where it's all pinup art. Excellent 80s stuff. Of course, the bonus features. All right, everybody, that is Web of Spider-Man, the Omni Volume 1. Definitely check that one out if you're a Spidey's fan. We'll see you guys later for another review.